Good afternoon, folks. We are live and up and running once again. Get everything switched over and we will get back to work in what will hopefully be a productive session in Factorio. All right, and turn on the BGM playlist. I'm going for the chill mix today. Okay. Seems like it's been a hot minute. I see Red Dragon's here. How's it going, Red Dragon? How is your Friday going? It's still Thursday here, but hopefully you're doing well. Oh boy, where do I start? The factory has changed a considerable amount since the last time I streamed this. Let's do the 10,000 foot wrap up first. If you remember last time, I think the last time I streamed this, our main focus was primarily the northern section and building out some additional supplies to be able to use on other parts of the factory, I think. And we did some migrating around the map, squashing bugs. But if we take a look at everything here, we can see that the factory covers a pretty large area now. This whole area is bounded in by the wall with all the flamethrowers and the water above and the cliffside over here, so it's contained even though there isn't walls going up here. And so I guess we can talk a little bit about the power situation, since that's where I'm standing right now. Down here in the uranium fields, where I may have to add some more mining drills later, things have changed a little bit. If you remember, we had kind of a mix of the nuclear reactors and the turbines here, kind of clustered in this area, and it was supplying our base with nuclear power and upping our overall energy, which we need to power everything. But one thing I've done is I expanded the base out, so on the main map, this whole section here was compacted down here, so I penned it in with a whole new section. Red Dragon says, I'm surviving so far. My dry cough is killing me. Oh yeah, you mentioned that yesterday. You're on the rebound from having a pretty bad sore throat. Hopefully you're on the upswing from that. So drink lots of water. Ingest vitamins. And hopefully you'll be through the worst of it. Alright, if we head to the right here, this is where I built out the nuclear power field now. Much more robust. This was a design partly inspired by what we saw on Dat Blue's stream. His blueprint that he linked me in his Discord didn't work for some reason. I didn't want to bother him about it. So I just took the idea and set everything up here with all these turbines. And so I think last time our energy grid was topping out at around 160, 150 megajoules or whatever it is. Megawatts. Thanks to all of these nuclear turbines, our energy cap is now 601 megawatts. So a massive bump to the overall energy grid of the main factory here. And I did this primarily, one, because I was producing nuclear power, and two, because I didn't want to think about energy for a bit. And I'm fairly certain this has expanded the pollution cloud out by a good 25%. But in between the offline sessions, I went and did kind of like a purge and pushed the bugs back. You could see they're starting to come in with more clusters close to the boundaries, but they're not quite up against it yet. And so I think we're okay from being attacked for the moment, which is good because I want to be able to focus on learning the space phase, which is the portion of the game that I don't know. So what we can do is we can head up. I'm going to have to pull all this stuff out since all of these turrets and this wall's just a holdover from the boundaries before. But what I've set up here is sort of a launch site. And this is a rocket silo. I think I need a starter pack. Yeah, so I need steel processing units and foundation. I think I need that to create a new platform. If I just grab some off the line, that'll do for now. We briefly dipped into the space phase on the original save, and now I've gotten a little bit further. I'll explain what this thing's doing over here in a sec. But we're now at the space phase in the game. And kind of into the unfamiliar territory. Okay, we'll let that finish building, and I'll explain what I've constructed so far. And this is mostly through trial and error. If we go to the map and we go to platform A, which is the first space platform that I've created, this is further than we got in our last playthrough. What we have here orbiting above planet Novice is this large platform which has a central hub and some solar paneling to generate power. And what we're doing here is using these collectors to passively snag certain types of meteor fragments that come close to the platform. And we have these filtering. This one up here is grabbing carbon asteroids. This one over here grabs ice or oxide asteroids. And this one over here grabs metallic asteroids. And the way these things work is when something enters their radius that we have it filtered to grab, in this case it's metallic asteroids, like that, an arm comes out and grabs it, pulls it in, and stores it in an inventory here. And then we have inserters pulling all of these asteroids that get grabbed into a crusher. And the crusher is designed to break down the asteroids into usable components. In this case, it's taking the metallic asteroids and it's breaking them into iron ore and an asteroid chunk, which can be recycled and broken down again. That's why there's a circular belt here. What I have hooked up here is something that's going to pull the iron ore out and into a furnace to smelt it into iron plates. Likewise up here, the carbon asteroid breaks everything down into carbon chunks. What is that? Or just regular carbon. And then the remnants of the asteroid get pulled back over here so that it can be recycled. And finally, the oxide asteroids, which seem to be the rarest, they just randomly spawn and kind of float towards your platform out here in space endlessly. These get broken down into ice. out what these are doing here. And all of the materials that are being broken down from these collectors and crushers get fed into the assembling units over here, and they're crafting white science or space science. This is the next tier of research that we needed to be able to get in order to further our tech and eventually get off-world. And so all of these things run pretty much on autopilot. As they get components, they spit out the space science packs, which are being collected in the hub here. And then after a certain number of them have been stockpiled, this is set to automatically launch a payload, which is what you see flying out every so often. Launch a payload of the space science packs down to the receiving port here. And so this thing is where all the stuff is landing. And it'll just keep going until this thing fills up completely, I guess, and runs out of space. But this is how we're able to get the white science down from outer orbit. And the belt here is going to funnel it all the way along through the different sections of the factory to our research facilities, where we have all the other colors waiting. Like so. And so now we've got seven total types of science that are being stockpiled here. And I've been slowly chipping away at the tech tree and researching stuff. Eventually, we're going to need to figure out what planet we're going to go to next. Maybe we'll need to research that at some point. We finally get the atomic bomb. This, I guess we can grab that now. This is going to require some kind of expensive radioactive components we don't really have on hand. But when we start crafting the atomic bombs, this will allow us to basically nuke hives on site. But I've grabbed a bunch of tech already, that's why there's not a ton here. But as we start moving through the tiers, and eventually when we get off-world, we will unlock more things that we're going to need to be able to research. I think agricultural science is one of the next ones. Green science, light green science. And there's metallurgic science, cryogenic science. These are all respective to the different other planets that we're going to settle on as we go. And so we have everything fairly well automated up through white science. What's up with this one? It's just going really slow. It is. I think it's because it's taking a while for everything to feed through. I'm going to have to redo the science facilities at some point. I'll worry about that later. Eventually, we're not going to have enough space for all the different colors we need to feed in here. And so we'll probably need to move to a logistics network to make it easier. But for now, it's fine. Speaking of the logistics network, something I started playing around with up to this point is something I mentioned is really handy for being able to do things efficiently in Factorio, and that's being able to use bots to move things around. Eventually, I'm going to probably either rebuild or overhaul big sections of the factory so that there's not as many belts running around. But for now, I'm going to leave it the way it is because I don't want to go and just start uprooting everything when we're just getting to space. But to demonstrate how this works, if we take purple chest, blue chest. We set up a roboport with drones. We can now move things from point A to point B using the drones without having to truck everything on belts. So just for example here, if we set up the provider chest to whatever item, commodity, resource we want to store, whether it's coming off of a mining site, off of a bus line, or anything. We put that here. If we go over to the blue chests, the requester, we can have it say, I want the robots to traffic the item from wherever it's being supplied to here. And what they will do is, as long as there's a roboport in range with drones staffed, they will go and grab things from one spot and take them over to the destination. And I believe as long as they're connected within the bot network, then they'll do that. And the more you have, the faster it'll go. So right now there's just the one that I have in here, and it'll go till it runs out of energy and it'll have to recharge, and then it will go until it's completed its task and moved everything from the provider to the requester. So from this point forward, we don't need to rely on belts to move things now. We can set up a logistics network that's going to use all of the bots to move things where we need to go, which is going to be handy as we kind of branch out into other resources. And if you remember from several sessions ago when we first got the bot capability, it'll let us build things really quickly with the bots that are in our inventory. That was the first step. And now the second step is complex logistics of moving stuff back and forth using the bots, which is what I started doing down here. This whole area is a little bit sloppy, but for now it'll do. All of the uranium, which one is this? I can never remember which one's which. 238 is the one that's primarily produced, and then 235 is the rarer of the two. This whole area is set up to basically cycle the uranium types, and then over here I have 3 assemblers creating the nuclear fuel. Uranium fuel cells, this is what powers the reactors and the turbines, but what I've done up till now, and I guess we'll see once we eventually hit a stall point here, but it won't be for a very long time. This whole setup was funneling all of the uranium fuel cells down here to storage chests, and there's quite a few, which is why I say it's going to probably be a long time before this even becomes a problem. But these chests are all on the logistics network, so when the reactors over here, which are pulling all these for fuel, when they get low, the drones will fly them over and refill them pretty much as soon as they empty, which is, I think, why I had a little pending icon saying something was trying to store something somewhere else. And so this site and this site, I don't have to move any fuel anymore. Unless the purple chests over here run out, the bots will take care of all that, and they'll keep these crates here fully stocked. And so further automating the setup here just means we don't have to think about it. And I made it enough space here that I can add a third set of reactors and turbines up here if I really need to. But because we're sitting at 601 megawatts, we're good on power for a while. In fact, we're so good on power, if I wanted to set up laser turrets all the way around the perimeter to further keep the bugs out, I probably could, and then don't have to worry about pushing them back on the map anymore. But we'll leave it the way it is for now. But now we need to figure out the best way to create a platform in space that's going to move us from one planet to another. And this is the part I don't really know much about. And so I think we have to start by using a starter pack to create a brand new platform. And we'll call this one Bitcoin. We'll call this one Transport Platform. And it's going to pop into the list under Platform A, which is just our science platform. Probably should have named it better. But once we fire this up, the rocket will deploy everything into space, and then we'll be able to start construction on the new site in space here. And we're going to need more of the platform material, the foundation, in order to build it out. But here it is. We have a toggle now. Here's platform A. Here's our transport platform. Starts with the space platform hub. And that's it. And so we need to give more mass in order to have space to build. We're going to eventually have to figure out thrust, which I haven't even started crafting thrusters yet, which I probably should. These require steel, processing units, and electric engines. We'll need to automate this at some point, but for now I'll just craft some out of my inventory because we should only need a handful. But one thing I learned, and I don't have this automated yet, I'm not quite there how I have everything designed in the factory, but in order to get the materials to build with in the respective spots, we need to load it up into a rocket and deliver it to the respective platform. We can't just use our on-person inventory. We have to physically send it. And for that reason, it makes sense to have multiple rocket silos constructed so you don't have to do it one at a time. For now, I don't have that set up. Hey, first time chat from iFoldligo? iFoldligo. Please tell me how to say your name. I'm probably reading it wrong. Saying, apologies for the backseating, but speed modules might not be the best for the rocket silo. I don't have any other ones really on hand. iFoldligo. Oh, yeah, I was right for once. So these are what I had on hand at the time. Do people normally use the efficiency or the red ones for the silo? I need to pull these out, but I just haven't because I haven't gotten to it yet. Red ones. Okay, I didn't. Let's see. I don't think I've even made any that I have on hand other than for logistics. Productivity. Okay, does this cause the rate at which the rocket parts stock to go up? That's interesting. I don't have an automated setup for the efficiency packs. I need to do that too. I've mostly just been crafting them while I've been running around. Yeah, so if you use them on the rocket, what's the benefit? Does it cause it to stock faster? Because it's not producing anything. Or does it mean it produces the more rocket parts per round of things consumed. That would make more sense. Ah, I see. Yeah, so you consume less materials because you're gonna get a bonus for each round of these things consumed. Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna go grab some stuff while I'm figuring out space, and I'll craft them just on hand for now, which I know is not efficient since I don't have an automated setup for it yet. But we'll be doing all sorts of other stuff with the platforms, and I'll just throw them in there when they're done. Right, so research level 2s. Cancel that. Oh, I do like the pun with your name. I do origami too. I haven't done it in a while, but I used to. A long time ago. It is a really neat art form. Oh yeah, putting the productivity modules in the research labs is a good idea too. This playthrough, just for record, since it's clearly you know this game pretty well, this is not an optimized run. This is the first time I've gotten to space in Factorio since the update came out. We did it once on a previous save, but we're running into issues just keeping our base together because it was so spread out. And so what I did was I started a new save with maxed out resource density just so I don't have to worry about expanding. I can focus on learning all of the stuff for space. So you're going to see a lot of unoptimized stuff all over the place. Just letting you know now in case you have kind of an OCD when it comes to how people put bases together. I'm not a pro at this game, but I do want to learn. Yep, that's true. This run has already gone better than the last one, but we haven't had really the resource constraints you would on just a regular standard setting playthrough. But that's fine. I want to learn how all of the space mechanics work and get good at that, and then I can do a more standard run later with regular resources and do expansion bases and the like. Okay. Oh, we'll swap these out for the red ones as soon as I craft some. We'll have this one research the level 2s. So we need to send more materials to the new platform. I'm trying to get off world, just to give you an idea, iFoldly. I've already got space science more or less doing its thing, but I want to create like a thruster platform to get to another planet. And first I'm going to build the platform out here, and then I got to figure out how to start getting all the components for the fuel and oxidizer, and then set up like turret defense, I think. I pulled this schematics sample and just have a picture. I didn't pull a blueprint, but I've got this platform layout that I got off of the Factorio Blueprints site. It seems like it's got a pretty functional setup for... How many thrusters does this thing have? 1, 2, 3, 7 thrusters. And it's got a setup for the fuel and all the other components that power it. So I'm going to kind of work off of that for now. But I'm open to suggestions since I've never gotten to this phase in the game before. It's all new. But we're going to need to make more space around Central Hub first. This schematic looks fairly wide. guess we'll just build kind of around the frame here. I don't know if it really matters. I'm going to probably build faster than I can accumulate bits. Is there... I know there's a way to do this. I just don't know how. If I want this silo to automatically send the payload of Foundation to the new platform as soon as a rocket is ready, how do I set it up so that it automatically does that? I think it's from the hub. So here's the setup, and I was fiddling around with this before, and clearly I didn't know what I was doing. But if I want this to just keep requesting Foundation, because I need to build a lot of space, do you have to add a station and then tell it to pull a payload of a specific type? Because I think it's automatically requesting that platform Foundation here. I just want the rocket to keep funneling packs of that stuff up for now, so I can keep building. I wonder if it's that. That's a weight condition, though. Huh, what if that did it? Okay, iFoldy says the space platform should be the one requesting. Right side is for sending the platform to another planet after the spaceship is built. Okay. Okay, so not this stuff over here. So if we tell it to auto request missing construction materials, right now it only has the platform Foundation here, but what do I need to get set up here in order for it to constantly be asking the silo to send the materials for receipt here? This is what I was trying to figure out when I got here off stream. First I thought it was stack size, and this sends things back down, so I know that how that works. Oh, is it here? Yep, I got it. Okay, so now it should automatically... automatically send up the parts. Yeah, there it goes. Okay. I'm not going to let it run like that forever, but just for now while I build stuff on the platform. Let's see. What do I need for the level 2s now? Red and blue. I'll grab more right off the belt. And then I'm going to throw the level 2 reds in the silo. Okay, it stacks of 100. You think like maybe 200? That's fine. I think I'm going to use it faster than the stuff transports. can pull these out. Yeah, as soon as these stop crafting, I will turn whatever's left into level 2s and I'll put them in there. Okay. I'll leave it at 200 for now, and we'll see. If it starts to pile up, then maybe we'll ratchet it down. But I think we'll probably burn through the majority of that faster than the silo can actually stock and prep a rocket. We're also going to need... I guess I can queue up all of the requests this thing's going to ask for. We're going to need belts and solar panels and all that other stuff in order to build on here, right? I recently found out that we don't need power poles. We've run out of foundation. How does it prioritize the request queues? Once a rocket's ready, how does it determine what specifically it's going to load? Does it go in order from left to right on the queue? Like if I put $100 belts, is it going to send all of the materials to max out at 200 here before it goes here? Oh, I guess I could look. It looks like it did the panels. I think I see why I fully recommended doing 100. Okay. I fully says, not sure how it prioritizes. One fun idea might be one item, each of the item you want. Other rocks will send a full load anyway. Instead of a full stack, just like one of each thing in the stack. I know it will send a full combination of things regardless. So it could be like one panel, one inserter, one belt, and then the rest of the foundation. I think it'll just fill up so that it's got a max. I don't think it really matters since I only want one full stack of all that stuff anyway. But we can pull these out now. +6. So that's +6 times 4. It's plus 24%. Oh yeah, I haven't even gotten to beacons. I have them researched, but I haven't built them yet. There's gonna need to be kind of an overhaul of some of the construction in the factory to get like the space parts all automated and built. I was telling the chat, one thing I did somewhat recently before we went live today in a previous session is I got the logistics network unlocked, but as you can see from the base, it's spaghetti. Main bus primarily, but it's belts everywhere. And I want to move towards having things being moved around with logistics, but I haven't changed anything yet. Alright, I see Red Dragon is taking off for the evening. Good job keeping your sleep schedule together. That's respectable. But we have a drop a beat and a small raku. Okay. I'll do the small mode after, and then we'll see how long it takes me to remember to turn the timer off. But let me pause the music. Which I'll just mute it outright since the game is going to make some noise in the background. And grab headphones. So for iFoldly, since you're new here, whenever someone redeems the drop a beat redeem here, I've got to stop what I'm doing and freestyle a beatboxing beat on the spot. And so we'll do that and see what we come up with. Let's give it a try. All right, let me turn all the audio back on and turn off the headphones. And small mode. This one's a little more straightforward. Whenever someone redeems this, then you get to look at my entire model in a tiny version on a timer that I never remember to turn off. iFoldly says Factorio ruins sleep schedules. You pop on to do a couple small tasks, then wonder why the sun's coming up at 10 p.m. Yep. That has happened to me many times. That's why I try not to play this game late at night. A Dragness was out of love emoji Raku mode. Yeah, I never used that toggle with the hard eyes, but it is there. I don't actually use most of the alternate toggles on this model. I sometimes forget they're even there. And I eventually get a new one made. I'll probably get some more complex toggles that I'll actually be able to use. Okay. Let's go back to building the platform. iFoldly says Factorio is also like that one short bit from Malcolm in the Middle, where Hal comes home, finds a burned out light bulb, and winds up working on his car. I feel like a game like this from like the automation sim genre, it's kind of like task management simulator in a way, where if you have some objectives you need to get done and things you want to accomplish, sure, but it's so easy to get distracted, especially in games where there's active threats that are attacking you. Here on stream over the last couple years or so, we've played Dyson Sphere Program, gotten the end of that. We've played Satisfactory, gotten mostly to the end of that. And we've been spending a lot of time off and on stream playing Factorio since I want to learn all the stuff with the space phase. And it's happened very frequently where I set out to do something, get something done, and then I get distracted for a few hours, and then we've not accomplished our set task for the stream, but that's okay. It is a marathon, not a sprint. Okay, let's see if I have the materials to craft some beacons. I have a bunch of these level 2 speed modules just sitting here. Copper, steel, copper, green circuits, red circuits. What I really need to do is set up some logistics storage that has a bunch of these things that I can actively use. Now I can just set up a crafting spot somewhere nearby. Guess we can do that here. Need to make some more provider chests though. Because the logistics stuff and the space stuff is something I just unlocked recently. That's why I don't have all these materials and things I need just being crafted in a spot. I try and do that with everything so I'm not crafting out of my inventory, but I have not set that up yet because I just got access to the advanced logistics. Well, that will probably be something I'll work on for the next session, just to get all these materials that I'm going to need for space, for efficiency and whatnot in one spot so I don't have to constantly be crafting them. So we'll start with 2 stacks there, and 2 stacks down here. And what was it? Steel, right? That was another one. Steel and copper wire. I'll just put these on the bar. I think I'll be using them a lot. Now I just have to have all these hooked together on logistics network itself. I think a Roboport here covers all of them. There's just not enough space. Still not enough space. Well, that sucks. I think that's still enough, though. Yeah? Barely? Yeah, I think we're alright. Now I just need to throw some bots in there, and now we can have them send stuff from wherever we're at to where we need it. Of course, not going to remember where I put the bots. Oh, here we go. Oh, time's up. We throw 50 of those in there. Now we can set up. I guess it doesn't really matter where. So we do it here. I'll set this thing to craft beacons, and then we're going to set up requester chests for each of the 4 components, and then have the bots fly them over here. I might need to link the network up, though. Yeah, I think I need to put one in between. There you go. Now they should be connected. We'll have view request, green circuits. You request red. Whoop. I'll block it off first. And you're going to request steel, and the other one is going to be copper wire. I keep hitting the stupid trash can by accident. There we go. And we'll have this dump into just a regular storage chest, I guess. There we go. So now whenever we need to craft something, if we use the logistics network to stock whatever we need, we can have the bots fly everything over here and not have to run belts. Ultimately, I'd like to overhaul a good majority of the factory to do that. But until we do, that'll be a good fix. And to demonstrate what a beacon does, yeah, that's probably a good idea. We'll probably only need a couple stacks of beacons. But to demonstrate what these do, I'll put them over here. If we place one and we make sure the structure, not there, make sure the structure we want to benefit from the beacon is in range of the yellow square. If we add in modules, then the beacon will provide the benefit of whatever modules you give, speed, productivity, or whatnot, to whatever building that's within range. And so now the silo is getting the effect of not only the red ones that are slotted in here, but now the blue ones that are in here. Does this cap at a certain benefit level, or is it just as many as you can link up? Yeah, that's right. So as long as the square touches whatever building you want to receive the benefit, then it'll convey that bonus. It doesn't have to be a certain amount, as long as it's touching something. So you can cluster a bunch of production facilities with beacons, and they will all get that benefit simultaneously, and you can really optimize the efficiency of stuff by clustering production around beacons. Okay, so it's a diminishing benefit, unlike a linear benefit. Okay, I don't even think I got far enough in base vanilla Factorio to see that. What we could also do, since I said I was going to do it earlier, since we need these components to create the different modules, the level 1s is green and red, we can actually set up a couple facilities that'll do that right here. This will be kind of like a hodgepodge setup, but might as well. Because I don't want to be crafting the different modules by hand at all. So we can fix that right now using logistics. What we could do, maybe run this all the way over here. This is probably not the best spot to do this. Might get messy. Let's see. What if we went... We'll do this for red and blue. Those are the ones I'm using now, but I probably want to do that for green at some point too. But what if we do this? Go input. Here. Like so. We have these create blues, these create reds. I haven't even messed around with quality at all in this. I'm gonna kind of leave that till I get fairly established in the later game before I worry about doing all the stuff with quality. I know it's a pretty useful mechanic and new for Space Age, but I haven't gotten there yet. Okay, so now we need level 2s, which require red and blue. So by that logic, we can go red, And then we need to create some supply for the blue ones now. It's the last bit. And these will feed the blue here. And the output. I guess we can put it in a provider in case we want to truck this somewhere else. But we'll do 2 stacks like that. And we'll have these request the blues. These will request, or these will create the level 2 reds. Sorry, I'm trying to think and talk at the same time. And now all the stuff is going to craft what we need to get level 2 modules for red and blue. We don't have to think about it anymore. And what we can do, since we should have a whole bunch of beacons now, if we put one right here, I don't think I can get all of these. We'll just do 2 of them. If you do this and then throw the modules in here, then all these facilities are getting the benefit of the increased productivity, and it'll turn them out faster. I don't know, kind of a real sloppy setup, but that will do. Now I can go back and continue working on the platform. Let me pull up this schematic that I have here. So it looks like the way this person set it up, and I probably won't have anything this elegant, but they have collectors on the front that are grabbing asteroids. Looks like they have one up here and one up over here and one up here and what here. I'm gonna build this out more, but they have them up on the top corners and a whole bunch of turrets in between. These look like they're regular bullet turrets from the looks of it here. So they're having all of the components to craft regular level 1 ammo in the middle. So the asteroids must be pulling down the metallic ones and sending everything into a smelting spot in the middle, and then pulling the plates over to craft bullets here. I know you guys can't see what I'm pointing at here because I don't have an image on the stream, but basically everything is being produced in the middle, and then the output of the factory or assemblers sending the ammo up onto belts that trucks it all the way around the perimeter to wherever the turrets are. And there's turrets on the sides and in the back too. Is there any need, iFoldly, to go higher than the level 1 ammo in the initial stage? I would assume no. But as you proceed, maybe you need to have the level 2 or higher. Okay, we're gonna need to send turrets up here too. Okay, I figured as you go into the farther out planets, you're gonna need higher power weaponry for stuff that's gonna be coming in to hit you. there it goes. I think, yeah, well, let's see. I need to start crafting. No, I got the thrusters already, but we need to send them, right? We can have the platform request. A stack of the thrusters. Tell to grab 6 and then just put them in storage. I gotta put them here. And we could drop more beacons. Probably good that I built out my energy grid. I think these up consumption of energy by a decent amount. 480 kilowatts. Yeah, it's not trivial. Okay, I probably should have done that sooner. But now the rocket is being built much faster. Yeah, it's not really putting a big dent in our energy grid, which is good. Let's see, how do they have the crusher set up? I'm probably going to go for something a bit more simplistic compared to this, again, really fancy setup here. At least initially, and I can always build it out more later. But I'm going to need more components. We're going to need collectors and crushers sent up here. What we could do is start setting up more build sites like we did for the modules down here for all of the space bits. I said I was going to do it, so I guess I might as well do it now. These require engines, low density structures. I really dislike this resource. This resource is annoying. But we've got a decent production of these coming from up north. Okay, engines. No, these are down here. And we already have blue circuits being stored. I think we just need to make sure we're on the network. Yeah, I guess we can go up here. Hey, Bits is here. It says, hi, Raku, stopping in for a minute. I've never played this game and it looks so complicated. Welcome. How's it going, Bits? Hope your day is going well. Factorio, it is complicated, but it doesn't start off where you have a lot of crazy things initially. It starts off somewhat simple with a few things you got to learn and manage, and then as you go up in complexity in the tech tree, then it gets more complicated as things proceed. And this is the type of game where it helps immensely to have someone who knows how a lot of the stuff works, so you're not kind of fumbling around in the dark trying to figure stuff out. I watched a lot of YouTube tutorials when I was first playing this game, but I also have a good friend of mine who spent like 4,000 hours in the game, so I have a person that can answer a lot of questions. But if it's a good kind of problem-solving activity to figure out, you know, how you're going to get the next item or objective or whatnot. And I didn't think I'd like these types of games, but I did. And it is satisfying once you have a really complex setup and it's running correctly. That's right. I fully probably has much more time in this game than I do. In fact, I'd bet money on it. But that's correct. Once you accomplish a task or you have something set up and it's automated, then you can move on to the next thing and not have to think about it. Case in point, this setup here to craft some of these productivity modules. I set all the stuff up with the resources I knew I was going to need, and then it just goes. It's crafting what I need. I can come and grab the materials once they're done, and I can think about other things. And so the idea of getting an objective, getting it set up so that it's on autopilot, and then moving on eventually results in, like, this is the factory I'm working in now. We're right here. This takes up the greater part of a continent. And so think of it kind of like Strangely Satisfying Simulator in a way. You start off small, and like iFoldly is saying, you focus on one thing, and then you use that thing to make something else, and then you kind of build from there and goes in sequence, and the next thing you know, you've got something that takes up a greater part of a continent. And majority of the stuff in here runs on its own. I'm just not actively telling the facility to do much right now. But yeah, I can't zoom out further than this, but if we run around like a little ant here, all these different sections I built out as I was proceeding through the different tech phases and getting what I needed. So from basic ores, iron, copper, later steel, and then as you move up, fluid production, which is my least favorite phase of all these games, oil, like crude oil into refined oil and plastics and sulfurs and all sorts of stuff. And so it follows a tree. This is just a sample, but the progression of tech goes down through these different requirements, and as you create things and move further up, you unlock more things that need to be created that have different materials, and you research, and then there's a lot. There's probably hundreds of things to unlock between the start and the end of the game. Okay, we're doing this one, so we need blue engines and density structures. Engines. There you are. Alright, Bit says I gotta clean up and make dinner, so I'm gonna be lurking. Enjoy your satisfaction, Sim. Oh, I will do my best. We're, like I was talking to some of the folks on stream earlier, we're at a phase in the game that I don't know. And so I'm kind of learning as I go here, and iFoldly's been offering some input since, again, I think they've probably beaten the entire game by now. So this is one of the few games I play where I don't mind people coming in and saying, hey, I think you should do this more effectively in a certain way. Because, especially when I'm just starting out, I'm not going to know the optimal way to do anything in here. Okay, collector. We only need maybe one stack of these. Crusher. Oh, I should have put this in the middle. Some of these materials are shared. Okay, let's see. Why is this one not grabbing? The engines. Might not be in range of the network. Yep, that's exactly why. Yeah, I should have stuck these in the middle and then... Actually, it's not too late to do that. I just have to rebuild everything. Nah, screw it. I'll just do it again over here. I'll just set the stack size to be a little bit lower. So these ones will go steel. 1. And engines and structure. Whoops. Likewise, we'll set one stack limit here. Okay, that's those two items, which we'll need a decent amount of. Well, that's going. Let's go add more to our platform. I'm going to up this back to 200 since I think we're full up on everything else. Alright. Could put more beacons for the red modules in here too. There's a little bit of room left. Just clustering all these around here looks terrible, but it's okay. Throw that in here. Oh. Red ones can't be used in here. That's why just the blues and greens. Gotcha. Alright, well, just throw those in there for now. I see why I fully recommended putting the red ones in here. Because you can't put them in beacons. I thought I turned this one on. But why is this one not getting engines? Oh, it is. Maybe they're out of power. Alright, so what I think I'll do for these, again, trying to automate as much as possible. I'm going to put the crusher and the grabber things being requested here so I can throw them into a rocket whenever I need them. And we can have the platform request them too. We ask for 5 of those and 5 of the crushers at any given time. That'll do, but why aren't these coming up here? Oh. They're out? Yep. Just need to grab more of those. Grab some more belts while we're down here too. I could have the logistics fly turrets over, but I don't think I'm gonna need a whole lot of these. I think probably one stack of 50s more than enough. We'll have this one request 1 stack of 50 of the turrets. Well, let's see. Is it not pulled the crushers up yet? There it goes. Okay, let's save. I realize I haven't saved at all in an hour and a half. That's so much faster. That was a good call on getting all of the productivity boosting things in here. Probably wouldn't have thought to do that, and it would have taken way longer for me to get things into space. Okay, I guess we can resume research on the nuke. iFoley asks, are you grabbing all the space science, or are you only grabbing space science when there's less than a certain amount in your ground base? I'm just having it dump all of it in here. I was gonna set a limit, but I'm not using it super quickly. Now I'm researching things again, so it'll start burning, but I just have the cargo landing pad here, just collecting it all. This is the only thing that's being pulled down from space right now. And so there's a boatload of them in here. I figured that's probably okay to leave on autopilot for now. Alright, how much more space should I do? Again, this sample schematic I pulled it's big. It's easily twice as big as the mass I've got now. I prefer that everything not be super crammed together. And while I prefer that it be pretty, I'd rather it be functional. I can always make a pretty one later. Okay, let me look at my sample here. So I guess first, I need to have the metallic asteroids being pulled. And we should have all of our stuff in here now. This one also has solar panels kind of on the perimeter. I learned somewhat recently in a video that you don't need to route power on the platforms. They route power through the platform itself. So it shouldn't matter where I put the solar panels, right? They'll power everything, even if they're all placed like at the perimeter or wherever. So like if I wanted to put some here, and some here, and then some on the top or bottom, the platform as a whole should be getting power from that. So I guess we can put coverage-wise one here. I guess some kind of experiment with a setup that works. It looks like they've got two on top. Probably to get coverage like that. so not too far out. And we want these to only grab metallic. Same with this one. And belt-wise, we want these to route to a crusher that's going to break them apart into iron ore that we're going to smelt. So we could merge these. Oh, I don't have any splitters. I don't even think I have these in a container down here. Might have been what one of these was for. Alright, we'll throw a stack in there. Now for turrets, it looks like there's a lot of them, but we probably won't need a ton initially. Why didn't turrets come up here? Did I not put a chest with turrets in it? Maybe not. Okay, we can merge these into one line. Have it feed to a smelter, which I don't have here either. I have all these components on the other platform, but not this one. I need furnaces. Okay, this one's still doing its thing. Oh wait, I need to crush these first. We want these to filter only the metallic bits that get sent back out and basically fed back in. And then from here, now we have these probably just feed directly into the smelter. And from these, we could put that directly into an assembler, which we also don't have here. these, we don't need 50 of these. Probably only need 10. Okay, the rocket's not full. We need to give it more cargo to take up. There it goes. Oh, I wonder if it's because it doesn't need anything else. That's why it's not loading up the assemblers. Huh, what if I put a full stack in there? Yep. Okay. Once that gets here, I'll be able to craft this into ammo. And I guess we'll have to have this running. Oh, I don't have undergrounds. Should be the last piece of logistics I need to run the belts wherever I need to run them. Now have this crafting everything into level 1 ammo. Now we have underground belts, so we can run all the stuff where it needs to go. Okay. So now the turrets are armed. What makes them... Oh, there we go. Target priorities. I don't think I've ever used this option before. Should I have them take out things that I'm not actively using? Because we don't want them to take out the metallic ones, since I'm using those for components. I guess we can do those for now. What I should do is I should get grabbers on the sides too, so the entire front and sides are covered. I might have to set up more of these. Yeah, I'm going to assume that's why there's this massive row of turrets on the sample I'm looking at, so that they can account for the different types of asteroids, make sure nothing gets through. Okay, and for this one, we'll have this feeding the same line as the other ones down here so that they can be crafted into ammo. Okay, so that should do for now on ammo. Maybe I can throw another one over here. Same deal. Make it symmetrical. Well, symmetrical as possible. Okay, let's save our progress here. I think the next thing I'm going to have to tackle, which I don't know if we're going to get to today since we are coming up on time soon, is we're going to need fuel and etc. for the thrusters. Should be able to place them though. This particular sample, it has them staggered. I'm assuming that's because of how much space they take up. Okay, it looks like can't put them all the way down at the edge. They've got to be up here. iFoldy says the key is looking at where the fuel and oxidizer inputs are for the thrusters and placing them accordingly. Look at the inputs and outputs and you'll understand the staggering. Oh, okay. I see. So I'm assuming what they do is they'll build out a little bit further on the platform so that you have one that can be placed down here. Because I could see the way the pipes go. Okay, let's see what we need for fuel and oxidizers. Okay, so I see they're connected and they'll route the different materials between each other. Where's the actual raw material? Does it not show up here? There it is. So fuel requires carbon and water. And in order to get water, I'm assuming we have to melt ice. in chemical plants, so I need to throw chemical plants in here now. Yep, there it goes. It looks like from the way this layout is set up, they have grabbers kind of right here. These must be the ones that are grabbing the materials for fuel and oxidizers. Again, I'm not trying to mirror the setup exactly, but I am trying to set it up in a way that makes sense. We can have this one grab carbon. And this one grab oxide. These still have to be crushed though, right? They've got to be crushed into ice and then processed. Yeah, processed into water. Then it's water plus iron. Okay, I see how they have this set. This is going to be extremely messy the way I've done it. But I'm going to need something else that can route the iron ore. So maybe we have this going above, running to more than one crusher. I'm not going to be able to set this up cleanly. It's going to probably be a mess. I'm out of belts. The idea I think I want to do is run this down here to another crusher that's going to give me iron that I can run through to the oxidizer. iFoldly says, a fun part with the turrets is you can give them multiple targeting priorities, i.e. setting all turrets to shoot at all small asteroids. That's good to know. Are the grabbers set to grab the asteroid chunks by default, like whatever size? So if I have this one set to metallic, is it going to grab the larger metallic ones too? I don't know if I've seen them yet. How come it didn't shoot that oxide? Or unless that's a large one. Or a medium one. Okay, grabbers only grab smallest asteroids. If larger asteroids come in, you need to use weapons to break them up. Smallest asteroids will not do any damage to the ship. Okay. So really, I want them to break up the larger ones. Okay. All right, so my idea here, I'm gonna work through my thought process is to have one crusher down here. And this is going to feed the iron that it creates down to some plants that I can use to create the oxidizer. We'll see if that works. So we run that down here. And now we have this. Maybe spitting these directly into a crusher to get the ice cubes, which we need to put through the chemical plants to turn into water, combine with this to create oxidizer. Okay, that works. This is just for the asteroid bits that pop out. I don't know if this is what people normally do, but I assume since there's a byproduct that needs to be rebroken down again, you just have it filter it out and then run it back through the crusher so that it's not just stockpiling a bunch of byproducts. Okay, so we need all of these to run down to a chemical plant. Let's see. Am I reading this wrong? No, here, ice melting. There it is. Oh, I need pipes. I don't have any pipes. I'm gonna need regular and underground pipes. well just throw those in here. Because these need to connect to another one, which I guess we could just use the regular pipe sections to do that. Oh, there it goes. And this one is going to be crafting oxidizer. And all it needs is for some of the iron ore to get piped down here. Backwards. There we go. It doesn't look like it goes through a ton of water. But now I have to get this to actually face the right direction. We'll do one source for now so I can at least see how it works. So I'm assuming this needs to be routed into the engines on the inputs for here. Yeah, I could rotate the ice melter so it faces the oxidizer so it's at like a right angle. Yeah, we'll see how that looks. Assuming you mean like this, so that the output is just going directly in here. I'll have to play around with the setup if I want to do like a row of these things and multiple, but we'll leave it like that for now. Let's see, what's the pattern they have here with the staggering? I think these are too close together. Staggering is an upside down V. I wonder why it's not letting me put these ones together. I probably have to space them a certain distance apart. Because the sample that I'm using, it has them going like this and like that, alternating. It's not really a V in this particular setup. It's just one's higher, one's lower, like that. But I wonder... There's no need to space them apart. The key is the space foundation in the way. Yeah, it'd be easier if I could see how they structured the platform to place the engine. So I might have to mess around with that a little bit. It almost seems like what they did was they extended it out like that. It's got to be wide enough. No, that doesn't seem to work. Okay, remove space foundation to the right of the existing thruster. So the actual inputs and outputs need to be staggered. This one has pipes connecting it with like one spanning the distance like that. I wonder if that's what it's supposed to look like. So I'm assuming you mean like this, so that the fuel's output is hooked up to the input of the one next to it. But something must be in the way. 'Cause what about the oxidizer input? Something's got to feed in from there too, right? It looks like what they did was they fed down. I can't put that there. They had a pipe go here and then go underground and then feed to the right to get there. So I don't know if I have... You can shift click to force placement? Oh. I didn't know you could do that. Because what I was talking about, just to illustrate, the oxidizer needs to get from here to here, right? So wouldn't you need to have it going from here? I'm just going to illustrate what I'm talking about. And then connect like that. Oh, can the oxidizer go in more than one spot? Is that why? Here. I think there's more than one way to do this, but... This is the setup that this particular schematic has, just to illustrate. They have it set up like this, so that there's one span gap in between the fuel so that you can run the pipe for the oxidizer here. And then it goes up and around like that, almost like an S configuration between the two. So if we put this one up here, they have it like this, so it's alternating. I see what they did. So again, I'll have to play around with what works or what I want to do here, but this is what they have set up. And then they just go across for 7 of these. And so I'm assuming this particular setup is meant to have all of the inputs come in from one side and then feed all the way through from left to right for 7 engines total. That seems to be why they set it up this way. Now that I know you can force click to illustrate what iFoldly says. I'm assuming you would have like an upside down V going up this way and then down the other side. So like that. And then you have the fuel will have to go on one side, but then you have everything connected this way so that the oxidizer's passing between the two like that. Okay. Does it really matter? Is there a reason why that particular setup would be more effective than routing it this way? I guess I can shave this off here. So I guess it would go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 1 in the middle for the upside down V. Ah, I see. So you can compact them a little bit more if you go for the carrot design versus this one spaces them out with pipes. Okay. I see. So if we go up. Probably won't be completely even, but that's okay. So if we go like this, and we set them up ascending this way when we go down. Okay. I think I might have started too high. iFoley says, for me, it's time to get to sleep, have fun experimenting, and the factory must grow. All right, iFoley, thanks for stopping by and lending all of the helpful hints. I definitely think it would have taken me longer to fumble around and experiment. So I do appreciate you being patient and giving me some input. There we go. I think this is the setup that they were talking about. Which definitely looks cooler. I'll give you that. So by that token, the fuel's got to be fed in from this side, and oxidizer needs to be fed in from here. Okay. Well, we are over 2 hours, and I do need to go see to dinner. Should set up construction for thrusters too. Might be able to craft a couple of those. I want to get that last one in place so I can look at how everything's going to feed over before we get ready to wrap for today. Whoops. Steel. Oh, looks like my copper wire production's getting choked a little bit. Okay, we'll have to deal with that at some point too. I think a lot of the base is going to need to be sort of overhauled now that we have logistics. But that's all right. That already will make things a bit easier. see if we can get everything to load. Okay, there it goes. Looks like a stack of those is 5 for a full payload. It's good to know. Once those show up, then they will... Yep, construct there. That's good. And so looking at this, I think I have this backwards. And you can't flip them, of course. Okay. Because I think fuel needs to go in here and get fed up this way. And then the oxidizer needs to go in here and get fed up that way. Because that's the way the inputs are connected. Okay, well that's easy enough to fix because we can just go underground. But I'm going to need to set up a similar thing with the fuel, and it's going to crisscross, which is going to look terrible, but it's okay. Okay, pull this down here. And now oxidizer is being pumped all the way through here, which is what we want. For fuel, it's carbon plus what? Oh, plus water. Oh, we're gonna need more water. I think I see why they have overflow tanks in here now. Okay. We'll have this thing request tanks. One stack should be good. I think what I want to do is I want to have the water output to a big storage tank so I can route it elsewhere and not have it back up. So really this needs to be outputting to a tank maybe over here. And that tank should be routing to wherever this needs it. Oh well. I didn't think that through enough, but that's okay. Yeah, I gotta move this around. Not the most elegant solution there, but that'll do for now. Okay, so we need to put this. I know I'm going a little bit long, but I kind of want to get all this set up just so I can see if it works. Let's have you feed down here. This is going to filter out carbon asteroids to recycle. This is going to drop everything in here. And we need all of this stuff to route Route carbon. And this is going to go into chemical processing plant. Oh, I should... Okay, well, I'll just loop around. It'll go that way. Because we need to route this down to this side. Yeah, I did this all backwards, but it's okay. First time is never beautiful and elegant. It just has to work. Don't worry about making it feng shui later. Okay, we just need to get all this down here and pumping in from this side, and then that should be good enough. Okay. Well, it's hooked up properly. Now the real question is... can we get this thing to move? I wonder, do we have to set a station... like a receiving station on one of the other planets, or can we just go? Well, let's try it. Well, I think it's going. But I am curious as to why all of the other thrusters aren't firing. And it would be because... this is no input fluid. I don't think the fuel is getting where it needs to go. Why is that? The inputs aren't lined up. Huh. Oh, I wonder if it's got to be set up from both sides. I didn't get to clarify that with iFoldly, but we might be able to figure it out on the fly. Okay, that probably is in the wrong direction. What if we connect it down here? Yep. That would be why. Okay, so we have to do kind of like a circular loop here. But I think I could figure out what we need to do. Oh, cut off my own supply by accident. guess that does need to connect there. I guess this can go under here. Okay, now we got to get the oxidizer to the other side. Huh. That seems like a really counterintuitive way to set everything up, though. Like, yeah, you can step it all down this way, and it works. And then just do the same on the other side with the oxidizer? I don't know if that's more efficient than what we had before, where everything has got the gaps in between. There it goes. I think that's probably why you would double or triple up on the production. And I also see why you need to have everything armed. Oh boy. We definitely need more turrets and more ammo. Everything's getting destroyed as we go. Oh wow, that just gouged out a whole piece of the platform. Yeah, we don't have enough. We don't have enough ammo. Looking at the setup here, they have 3 smelters, all turning everything into iron to probably get the ammo out faster. They only have one. They have one level 3 assembler creating the ammo and routing it to everything. So yeah, I don't have enough bullets being created fast enough. I'll have to fix that. Okay, well, I'm gonna reload my save. How far back is that gonna set me? Let's find out. Okay, so I am gonna overhaul this design. I'm not gonna do it right now because we'll be here for another 2 hours, but I'm gonna overhaul the platform design, and I'm gonna give myself some more space. I'll keep everything here so I can remember when I load this up to do the next session offline. But what I'm gonna do is I'm going to basically expand this thing out. Now I see why the one in the sample is so wide. I'm gonna set everything up so that we've got a more robust ammo producing system, more turrets, because clearly there weren't enough turrets shooting things, and more fuel and oxidizer production so that all of the stuff is routing properly. But I'll stick with the V formation. I think it looks cool. But we will further optimize this, and by the time I stream this next, we'll probably be on another planet. I won't take up stream time doing all of the retooling of this, but I understand how everything's supposed to work now, at least at this phase. And so that's progress. It's definitely progress. So we'll save here. And we'll call that a session. Let me go ahead and pause the music. Or let me at least see who I can raid first, and then we'll pause the music. Oh, hey, Micro's live. I have not seen her online in a while. She is playing Marvel Rivals. Alright, let's go say hi to one of my VTuber peers. So let me go ahead and pause this. And we'll go to outro. And we will call that a mostly productive session in Factorio today. Space is making more sense. I think we're well on our way. But still more work to do before we get to another planet. But that's going to be a fun time once we get there. And so, with that, thanks again for hanging out, folks. Hope it was an interesting discussion. We'll be back on Sunday with a Beatbox Jam stream. Get a chance to work on some music. So until then, I hope everyone has a good rest of your day or evening, and I will catch you in the next one.